Comunilife is a New York City-based agency that provides a range of social services, including supported transitional and permanent housing, to more than 3,000 homeless adults with HIV and AIDS, as well as mental and behavioral health issues. Dr. Rosa Gill, a native of Cuba, is the CEO and spoke with us recently at one of her agency's Bronx residential facilities.
I'm Dr. Rosa Gill. I'm the President and CEO of Comunilife. There are many challenges for nonprofit organizations in New York City, and in particularly for Comunilife, and there are some challenges that we cannot control, such as the extent of real estate development in New York City and high rents, which it creates a challenge for Comunilife, because our mission is to provide housing for persons living with HIV, mental illness, and also low-income persons. So the higher the rent, the more challenges for us, because our budgets from government are limited. So this is a big issue that we are trying to figure out how to address it in the future. Well, you know, one of the ways of looking at this issue is developing partnerships with real estate developers, and as a matter of fact, we have done so. We are part of a team that is developing La Central, which is in the South Bronx, and there will be close to 1,000 apartments, and we have partners such as the Hudson Group and others. So those big developers really open the doors for us to create more housing that otherwise we couldn't be able to do so. The challenges are tremendous, but I think that we have great opportunities too. For example, I think that we need to figure out to create programs outside the government or philanthropic funding sources, and create our own business product lines that can help the bottom line of the organization. For example, here at Comunilife, we have developed a medical respite program, which is funded by hospitals, and it has been very helpful to maintain our bottom line intact this year. There's always a challenge to run nonprofit organizations, because the funding that we receive from government is limited. For example, the admin or the overhead is rather limited, and we have been working with many colleagues in the city of New York to persuade government to increase the percentage of admin or overhead that nonprofit organizations receive. The other challenge from a business perspective is that you cannot run a business unless you have the manpower to do so. And to be able to attract and to keep good staff members, one needs to provide them with the financial monetary reimbursement, or their salaries should be high enough to maintain them in the organization. And again, you know, part is government, where we need to have COLA increases for staff on a yearly basis to be able to retain them in the organization. So it is not only keeping the bottom line of the organization healthy moving forward, but also is to make sure that we have a workforce that is competent, and that we're going to be able to provide them with the salaries to keep them at Comunilife. Have a program called Life is Precious, which is the only program in the country to prevent suicide among Latina adolescents, and it gives me great pleasure every time that I see these girls that are living, that they are really striving, and that they're making a difference in the society, and that they're not thinking anymore about killing themselves. That's the greatest joy that I have as an executive director here in the agency. I think that as a Cuban refugee, first of all, I have been in New York City for 54 years, and I really do the work that I do because I want to thank and give back to the city that welcomed me with open arms 54 years ago. I think that I am thrilled and looking forward to the opportunities given the fact that President Obama wants to, or is opening the relationship with Cuba. Not only because I would like to go back and visit my own country, walk the streets as I was a child, the same streets, but also, Cuba has has developed itself in areas of health and mental health. For example, here in the United States, we started the community mental health movement much more later than Cuba. So I look to the opportunity now that we will be able to travel and on a professional level also to do collaborations with Cuba and to learn from them and from them to learn from us. Es un placer estar aquí con ustedes y me da mucha alegría poder hablarles a ustedes y hablar del trabajo que hacemos en Comunilife, que es un non-profit organization y entre los neoyorquinos y también otros que están fuera de aquí del país y de la ciudad. Y me siento muy satisfecha de poder haber participado en esta entrevista.